Stephen Covey said, you begin with the end in mind. What happens so many times when we start thinking about short-term rentals and we start thinking about vacation rentals, we don't know who our guest avatar is. We don't know anything about that. We don't really have a clue of who that's supposed to be. I tell this to my son all the time playing football. In our businesses, in our lives, we got to know our why. So what I believe in this bigger space that we call short-term rental industry is that we're just in the very beginning of it. They didn't do the research and the evaluation of the market. They didn't evaluate the property they were going to buy. They just took everybody's advice. And some real estate agent who's collecting the check is like, yes, it's great. Normally what I do when I do these kind of things, I do coaching in this, and generally I always tell people you either need a property to kind of know how to do it, or you need to figure out as we go kind of thing. How many of you own a property? Does anybody own an investment property? Where's yours at?
Myrtle Beach.
Oh, awesome. Is it a short-term vacation rental deal?
Condo, yeah.
Okay, great. Is it on the beach?
It's on the beach.
Awesome. That's great. I have a friend, Linda Meese, has one there. I'm actually going to go see very soon. Do you have one? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. You got cabins or condos or?
Cabins and glamping tents.
Okay. How's the glamping thing going for you?
Good. We just run a contract for 100 acres.
Are you going to do like the whole experience with that or whatever?
Yeah, we are. Yep.
That's good. That's good. Awesome. So I don't own properties. It's not that I don't like them. I've invested a lot of money in tech, so I'm in that space, and eventually I'm probably going to pull it out. My wife and I were talking the other day about we want to buy a property in like Indian Rocks, Florida, somewhere. And so for us, my experience here is coming from the service side. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that part of it. I'm also on the other side of it. I do the sales and I do coaching and that sort of thing. But when I do short-term rentals, I like to talk about the most important part. What do you think the most important part is about short-term rentals, vacation rentals? Oh, listen to her. Go straight to what I was about to talk about. And I was going to talk a little bit more, I ran out of time today, about a fulfillment system. And I think that most people forget, I think Zig Ziglar said it, or not Zig Ziglar, but Stephen Covey said, you begin with the end in mind. What happens so many times when we start thinking about short-term rentals and we start thinking about vacation rentals, we don't know who our guest avatar is. We don't know anything about that. We don't really have a clue of who that's supposed to be. And I think that really will dictate whether or not you're going to be successful. So many people say, oh, the market in the Smoky Mountains is saturated. You don't buy in Myrtle Beach. You don't buy in Destiny. You don't buy in Orlando. But what they don't understand is it's all about providing a good experience. I wish my friend John was here today, who can tell you about, he's got a neighbor who's doing about $50,000 less a year than he is in income because he's not focused on the experience. He's not providing the fulfillment of the guests. He's not providing that for them. So I always say the number one thing that you need to be thinking about is the end user. I think there's Marcus Lemonis has 3 things that he talks about: people, processes, and product. We know what the product is. It's pretty simple. It could be a glamping tent. It could be a 24-bedroom lodge somewhere. It could be a lot of things. I found that most people, when they get into the investment game, after they get past the fear and the frustration, they don't really know their why. They don't know why they're investing. Some people want to leave their 9 to 5. Some people want to create generational wealth. Those are the people that get it. There's another group of people out there that just want somebody to mail them a check every month, and they don't care about any of that. I'll work with those investors because I like them, because there's nothing, they don't give me any trouble. I send them a check every month and they're happy. So what I think about is sometimes I feel like if you're going to start building wealth in this industry, you've got to think about, number one, who the end user is and your why. Because there's going to be days when something breaks, something goes wrong, guest is calling, cussing you out, whatever. You're going to have to know your why. I tell this to my son all the time playing football. In our businesses, in our life, we got to know our why. So what I believe in this bigger space that we call short-term rental industry is that we're just in the very beginning of it. Airbnb's been around several years. By the way, they're not Airbnbs. That's a marketing term. They are either vacation rentals or short-term rentals. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I do. Mitch is here too. These are folks over here. Mitch is one of my partners in business. We do a lot of business together. We do vacation home rescues. What we do with that is we find underperforming properties, or we'll find properties that are not doing good. They maybe have bad reviews. You can go online right now on Airbnb and go see some companies with really big names that have some really crappy reviews. Oh, by the way, I meant to ask you, do you self-manage or do you have a manager?
We have on-site management.
Okay, so you basically have the HOA type on-site management. What about you? Do you do your own management? Okay. Oh, great, awesome. Okay, so that's good. So the big challenge that I see in this market is we're so new in it. There's a lot of rules and a lot of regulations that are not fluid yet. If you're in Sevier County, guess what? I was on the phone with one of my owners last night, and it was like, $250 for a permit. I said, yeah, that's a money grab. It is. Seriously, it's a money grab. It's something they should have been doing pre-2016 before we had all the fires and all the craziness go on. They should have been regulated way before then. But they all decided one day, I guess, got together and they want to start charging for garbage now. They want to start charging for permitting. Who knows what they're going to charge for next? So we are always in the business of rescue. There's a lot of folks out there that got in when the bubble was really small. A lot of real estate agents were basically order takers. They were sitting behind a desk and somebody would call and say, I've got $1 million budget. And he's sitting there already with his calculator. Okay, that's going to be about $90,000 or whatever it is, that number. Because that was the way it was 2, 3, 4 years ago. So we're seeing a lot of people right now with a little bit of not only buyer's remorse, but they're in trouble. There's some people that are in trouble out there. So we're building our business model around being able to help those folks. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to them about their processes and systems, what they're doing, who their boots on the ground is, because I would ask you what's the next thing, and you're probably going to say boots on the ground, your cleaner, your vendor. Those people are super important to this process. We had a situation yesterday, cleanliness issue. Mitch about lost his ever-loving mind yesterday when he walked in a property, and Diana was, okay? Because we have a desire to create a really positive guest experience. And the problem is with most people is that they don't realize that cleanliness and comfort are so important to people.
Super quick, hope you're enjoying this video. If you like this content and find it extremely beneficial, then we want you to experience it in person in 2025 at the Best Year Yet conference. We'll have 10 speakers all around these similar topics talking about how you can win in life and win in business. So if you want to join us, go to joeygis.com/bestyearyet2025. Can't wait to see you there. All right, back to the video.
You have spent thousands of dollars, you've traveled, the kids are crying in the backyard, you've had all these bad odors and whatever, and you get there and the first thing you walk into is crumbs in the floor or something that's just completely dirty, nasty, some foul odor. So I'm really important in the process. I'm the guy that collects the checks and writes the checks to people. I used to be the other guy, but you can't make people care as much as you care. So if you get into this industry, make sure you surround yourself with people who have a like mindset as you. Those boots on the ground are super important. Because if you do not have a good cleaner and a good handyman and a good runner or somebody that can go out and kind of do things for you, your business is doomed from the start. I believe with all of my heart that those three processes, those three people are more important than about any other thing else that you got going on. I don't care if you got a management company that charges you 10%, 5%. We don't really talk about it. We're being recorded right now. But I don't care if they're giving you really low. If the end product is not, number one, profitable, number two, getting you the reviews you need, then it's all in vain. So it's super important that you sit around and you think about who it is that you want to be working with you. I say you work with folks that understand the process from the bottom up. Have you guys ever cleaned your own properties? I'm sure you probably have. Okay. That's important, okay? Because there's a lot of people out there that have never cleaned their own property. There's people out there that never even stayed at their property. They don't even know what their property looks like. You know how many people I have that buy properties all the time and they'll call me and say, hey, I'll never see my property. I need somebody I can trust to manage it. And okay, no problem. You need to set eyes on the property. You need to have people setting eyes on the property. You need to be following up. You need to be always concerned about what's going on. We have revenue calls with our owners. Our owners want to hear what the performance is. We have calls and coaching calls when people call me. I've got people I coach, and they'll start telling me, hey, the bookings are down. So we start looking at things. We start looking at what's important. And I'll go in, I'll be like, look, somebody said that there was a little, there was a problem here. There was this or that. Somebody said they couldn't get in. And as me and Mitch were talking about yesterday, those little key words like not comfortable, dirty, hard to find. I wrote a little book, by the way. Y'all can get it. I'll give it to you for free if y'all want to send me an email. There's a book I wrote about the guest experience, and it's basically called the 5 Rule. It's basically the first 5 minutes somebody's on a property, they know whether or not they're going to have a good time there. 5 miles out, they know whether or not. I mean, some people will show up to your property and they haven't bought groceries. Okay, guess what? You might ought to tell them the nearest grocery store is 20 miles away. You know, there's management companies that don't even think about that. They say all this stuff, but they don't think about who is arriving at the property. So anyway, in our rescue program, what we're doing is that we're doing the research, and then we do an evaluation. And then that evaluation, basically, there's a thing called a pro forma. Does everybody know what that is? That's that piece of paper somebody slides across the table to you and smiles as a management company and says, hey, this thing will do $300,000. Well, I can tell you that I've looked at the MLSs on some of them. I have a client right now. She just spent thousands and thousands of dollars on a rescue program. She was told that this property would do like $75,000. The best year ever, and it was right there in the MLS. Anyone with a mind said $45,000. So who's making this $30,000 gap up? Because they didn't do the research and the evaluation of the market. They didn't evaluate the property they were going to buy. They just took everybody's advice. And some real estate agent who's collecting the check is like, yes, it's great. Mitch and I can tell you about the other one that we got going on. There's a big property right now we're working on right now. It's probably got $150,000, $200,000 worth of work's going to be done on it. It's not a rescue because he bought it. He understood going in. But I'm the kind of guy that could go in and kill a deal for somebody. If somebody wanted me to come in and kill a deal, just call me. I'll kill one for you. Just blame me. I'll go in and kill it for you. Because I can tell you straight up, there's properties. When I look at MLSs and the pictures are from 2016, and the real estate agent's walking in with the camera and smiling and just going in, and these people are not there, and they're like, oh yeah, it's great, it's perfect. And then I walk in and I do what I call my STR inspection, and I start looking at it, and the couch don't look anything like the pictures. Guys, that's bad. We got to protect people in this industry because there's people out there that are not going to protect them, and they're not trustworthy. So I say all that basically to say today, I could go on down my list or whatever, but if you guys want to know more about it, it's all over my Facebook where I talk about my process there. But if you guys want to get a client, if you're in real estate or whatever, if you want to get a client, you want to get into this business, figure out a way to provide value to people. Figure out a way to show them why you're different. Differentiate yourself from everybody else. You know, become the expert in the market. There's plenty of room out there for all of us. If any of you want to learn how to do this, I'll teach you. There's plenty of space for us out there. You know what I like? I was sitting back there today, and I've made about $1,600 sitting here today. You know what I did? Absolutely nothing. I have booking people that do it. I'm not bragging. That's not me bragging. And that's a slow day, okay? What I like about it is once the systems are in place, the people are in place, and the processes are in place, it kind of takes care of itself a little bit. Especially if you got people that'll do this thing while you're asleep at night like I do. When I'm going to bed, my VA's waking up. Okay? I have a hospitality company that runs a lot of my properties for me. Does it cost me money? Absolutely it costs me money. But you know what it doesn't do is it doesn't keep me awake at night on all these bigger properties and all this other stuff I got going on. I say to you today, make sure you got the right people, right processes. Any questions? I just want to I just want to talk because this is my time to kind of help you answer questions.
Question about your VA. How did you find her?
I can give you her name, as a matter of fact. Okay. She's like $400 a month. It's very reasonable. That is, yeah, I don't mind to give you that. She would love to help you. I don't know what you want to do. You just tell her what you want to do, and she can help you. But she does things for me that are basically, just some basic functions. Actually, I pulled her more out of the property management for me because I'm trying to get more organized this year and have her do more stuff and be my gatekeeper. So that's what I would encourage you to start with is let her kind of help you with whatever, and then she can do the guest management at night while you're trying to sleep. Because I don't know how many of you have done this before, but I've been woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody at the wrong property, drunk texting me, You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to find a place, especially in the mountains. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I drove one down from one of the ones I just started the other night. It's been deep cleaning and everything, and I just want to put the final staging on it just to see it myself before the photographer came. Man, I was leaving, and I was like, I could see a guest, and it's why I do it. I go at night, and I go at day. If you can go stay at a property that you're going to buy, it's even better. Matter of fact, if you're looking at a property, try to book it before you buy it. That's a great thing because you can go at night, you can go in the day, you can see how it smells, you can see if the refrigerator. My wife and I stay in them all the time because it's what we do for a living. We'll go to one and you'll hear a refrigerator like 3 o'clock in the morning. You think somebody's knocking on the door or something. It's because you don't know till you know. So anyway, any other questions? I'd like to. That's what I really
use for your software platform. Are you using like owner res or guest day or?
All of them are good in their own way. A lot of people like owner res. It's really hard to set up, but it's really good once you get it going. I actually use Hostaway. I've used Guesty. I've used Cirrus, or it's CIIRUS. I've also used. I've got a client that uses IGMS or whatever it is. It's I use that one for her. I go in. Matter of fact, last night at like 3 o'clock in the morning, she was having an issue, and she sent me something, and I was awake because I was like excited about today, and I went in there and did a few things. So they're all about the same. What you really want to be able to do, those have a unified inbox, because you want to be able, if you're managing your own property, even if your manager's managing a property, if you want to be able to communicate with your guest, get one that has a unified inbox. I think Guesty has one, Hostaway has one, so everybody can kind of see the inbox. Is it good? Do you like it?
Their new property management software.
Okay.
Still learning.
Track is really good, but Track is expensive and they have a huge waiting list. Track has a CRM. They're all about the same. It's really what you're comfortable with. And some people are not very tech savvy, so they don't know how to API and all that stuff. So they need to understand. That one's hard. I mean, it really is. But I've been told once owner res is set up, man, it's golden. So I encourage that one. That's a lot of people. I have, like I said, I have coaching clients, and probably the easiest one to use is Guesty because they set a lot of it up for you. Hostaway set mine up for me. I have 3 properties on it. You guys can go see them online. I'm personally curating some properties to build a luxury brand, and these are going to be like hopefully high-end stuff. And because that's my background. I came from corporate housing. And that's what I'm used to dealing with: lawyers, doctors, sports athletes, all that stuff. So that's our goal, is to start building around that. The thing I was talking about earlier, there's an investor that's a former NFL quarterback who's wanting to do some investing in the Smokies. So we're really trying to focus in on getting this luxury brand down. So anyway, any other questions?
You seen like oversaturation in this Sevierville area with short-term rentals?
It can be. It can be. Like, what works in our market, guys, I'll tell you straight up. There's so many people that want to buy these 3, 4, 5 bedroom cabins, but my friend Jay Combs, I don't know how many of you might know him. Okay, I managed his properties for almost 3 years. That's actually where I got my start with this when I came out of the corporate housing side. And what he did is he bought these little 1-bedroom cabins, and they're not even in the area. They're in Pittman Center on the top of the mountain. Okay, I have a client right now who has one on Shell Mountain, and she does better than people that are down near the Strip. And so I say start with something that you can handle yourself, something you can manage yourself. I mean, even what you're talking about, doing a yurt or doing, that sort of lake somewhere, start there. A little RV and park it at a lake somewhere. I can do whatever. Then find something a little more out of the way. I know a lady right now, she has a property in Cosby, and it's not performing well, but she bought it, and it's beside a hotel, and you got a neighbor that basically's got this big nasty sign on the thing that says no trespassing, and then she's got road noise. So location's super important, but the experience around it is super important as well. So it really depends on what type of folks you really want to stay at your property. I would look at getting somebody, just looking at what type of person you want to stay there. So if you want to reach out to the adventurer kind of people in the Smokies, and find something that's more like out of the way a little bit, maybe closer to the park. But people that want to come and hang out downtown, get something closer to the Strip. There are people that can't handle the mountains. I love it when people ask me, are the mountains steep? Absolutely, they're steep. Is the water wet? Absolutely, the water's wet. Does it snow and I can't get up the hill? Yes, absolutely. But guys, he's telling me it's my time there. You guys, you saw my information up here for whatever, but just see me after. I've got cards over there. I do, like I said, free consult calls to kind of get started. But if you want to get into this industry, I do coaching, I do training, I do property management, but I also will teach people DIY. There's a lot of people that won't do that in this business. I teach it from the ground up. I don't teach it from here. I teach it from let's get in here and let's figure this out together, and I build them up from the bottom of coaching. We'll set their own DIY account up and all that. So anyway, any other questions? Cool. Thank you, guys.
If you guys enjoy this video, then you're going to absolutely love the Best Year Yet Conference 2025. You can get your tickets at joeignis.com/bestyearyet2025. We hope to see you there, and we hope that you have your best year yet.